I don't usually wear baseball caps like this in my videos, but my hair is like really bad today, and I just don't want to show it on camera. I'm looking back at a lot of my old videos, and Jesus fucking Christ, my hair is horrible in those videos. I mean, I don't usually ask for like hate comments, like, "Oh, you look fucking stupid in this video," but could you please put more of those in my video so I can make myself look at least, decent in my videos? Like, I have the fucking weirdest, craziest hair in some of my videos. I look like a mad scientist in some of my videos, so don't usually ask for hate comments, but if it's stuff that will make me realize, holy shit, I look like a moron, dressing like that or with my hair like that, please put comments like that in those videos because I really need them for my own well-being. But, yeah, that's why I'm wearing a hat today. If I sound sick, I kind of am. I'm kind of getting over it, but if I need to take, like, a quick break, in the middle of this video, take, like, a drink of water like I do now, I apologize, but I'm just a little bit sick. I'm getting over it, but, that's not keeping me from giving you guys my review of Frozen. Yeah, the movie's only been out for, like, 2 to 3 months now. I just might as well review it now. But no, I never saw this movie when it had first come out. I didn't really have any intention to see the movie when it first came out. I just got around to seeing it, a couple weeks ago, actually. But, I kind of have a weird history with I kind of have a weird, feeling towards this movie. I was really disappointed with this movie when a lot of the promotional material started to come out with this movie. I mean, I was really excited for this movie. Like, I kept on hearing that this movie went through, like, development and production hell. Like, they wanted to do this movie so many times. Like, even back in the 30s when Walt Disney was still alive, they wanted to get this movie off the ground, but they just never got out the ground. And they tried doing it in the 1990s and early 2000s, but again, nothing, got off the ground. And they just now got around to doing it, and I got a little bit excited because, sometimes something that they're working on for so long can be, really, really good. But sometimes it can end up being like Catwoman, where it goes through production hell and goes from writer to director and so on and so forth, that it becomes a really big piece of shit. So this movie could have been either, but judging from a lot of the promotional material, I was expecting this movie to bomb, and I had really no big intentions on seeing this movie ever, which is really a shame because, again, I was really pumped up for this movie. I was really excited for this next Disney movie that Disney had been wanting to do for so many years, and they were now getting around to doing it. And a lot of the promotional material really, disappointed me. I really had no intentions on seeing this movie, at least in theaters. I thought maybe I would see it on, like, DVD or whatever, but not in theaters. And then a lot of the reviews started to come out for this movie, and this movie not only was loved, but it was getting, like, critical praise. Like, people were loving this movie. It had, like, great reviews online, like an 88 or something on Rotten Tomatoes, something like that. People were just loving this movie, and then it got nominated for all these awards, like Best Original Song and, Best Animated Movie. Kind of a no-brainer to get nominated for Best Animated Movie. So then I said to myself, okay, obviously need to see this movie. It was also breaking, like, so many different box office records, nominations, everything. And that's when I said to myself, okay, I need to see this movie, obviously, in theaters. So I decided, if I had a little bit of extra time and money, I would go and see this movie. And at first I thought that was going to be a huge hassle because, after the movie was out at the time that I saw this movie for, like, 2 months. Came out like mid to late November, and I thought it was going to be extremely hard and difficult to find the movie playing in any of my local theaters. I thought the best I would get is like playing in a theater like 50 or 100 miles away from me. Actually, quite the contrary. This was playing at multiple different theaters that different local. It was playing at many of my different local movie theaters. And multiple times, both in, 3D, 2D format, and I was just really baffled, and that just really made me think, okay, I really need to fucking see this movie. Like, again, it was out for, like, 2 months, and then it still has so many showings and so many listings from so many theaters that I needed to see this movie, like, immediately. And then I reminded myself, that's exactly what happened with me and Avatar. I really had no intention on seeing Avatar when it had come out way back in 2009. And people were saying, oh, you gotta see it. The effects are amazing, and it got nominated for all these movies and became the highest grossing movie of all time. I was like, okay, then I guess I need to see this. Didn't work out for Avatar. As you guys all know, I fucking hate that movie. So with this, I thought that was just going to be a big repeat. So I kind of set my own self up for disappointment, and I actually ended up loving the shit out of this movie. I did, of course, being me, I did have a few problems with the movie. I'll get to those in a minute, but I overall really loved this movie. I think I actually loved it maybe a little bit more than I should have, but I really want to apologize that I didn't see this movie in theaters in 2013, because I want to safely say this right now. This is definitely one of my favorite movies that had been released in 2013. If I had seen it in 2013, you could bet your ass I would have put it on my top list of favorite movies of 2013. Just consider it like a number 2 spot. Bump Iron Man 3 2 with number 3 spot. This is definitely my number 2. Maybe even number 1 favorite movie of all time. Just consider it in that list, even if it's not on that official list. But I digress. I am so disappointed in myself that I did not see this movie in 3D. I really doubted it, and I was really surprised from what I got, because this movie is amazing. People are saying that it's the next, definitely, I think it's a great, like the first, like really absolutely, high above and beyond great Disney movie, but I don't think it's, like, people are saying that it's the best Disney movie of all time, hands down. I don't think it's the best Disney movie of all time. Again, I did have some problems. I think, realistically speaking, Beauty and the Beast is still probably the best Disney movie of all time, hands down, in my opinion. I think just a better story, better characters, and overall. This, I do think, is up there. I think this is it's definitely one of my favorite Disney movies, probably in, like, the top 5, maybe even top 3. But definitely not like the best Disney movie of all time, like the be-all, end-all Disney movie of all time, because it's not. It has a few problems. It's great, I love it, but it's not the best Disney movie ever. Beauty and the Beast is still the best, at least in my opinion. Probably in your opinion, but just in my opinion for right now. I think what I love the most about this is that I just was not expecting this movie to be good, as I mentioned before, and so many things it just looked like a really generic, really, watered down Disney movie. It just looked like a very generic movie, about, a couple characters going to get, this one character's sister. It looked very, very piss poor, just very generic movie. And I got more than what I expected at all. What's advertised in the movie is only maybe, like, 20 or 10% of what's actually in the movie. That's something I gotta give to Disney. They do not give a damn thing away about their movies. They are pros at marketing their movies. They do market, the movies to the demographic that's going to see this movie, like, kids and families and whatever. But they really do keep what's actually what the movie is about completely under wraps, and they only give you the bare bones minimum of what's actually in the movie, and they are marketing pros. So I was baffled that the movie was actually more than what I expected. But what was advertised was only, again, a small part of the movie, and everything else was just not seen at all. Just great marketing for this movie. Really great marketing. I think one of the main things that really kept me from seeing this movie when it had first come out, and things that I just immediately doubted about the movie, was the little snowman character Olaf. When I first had seen that, he was the main reason why I did not see this movie in theaters when it had first come out, and was the main thing that kept me from wanting to see this movie, because he just looked like the essential, comedy relief character, the character that was just there just to, just there for the target demographic, which was kids. He was just there just to tell jokes that weren't funny. He was there to entertain the kids but piss off all the adult and teenage audience members. He pretty much was like, I thought he was going to be just a Jar Jar Binks character of this movie, which was a character who is supposed to be funny, but he's not at all, and he just ends up annoying you, and you really hate the movie at the end, solely because of that character. Not at all. This character was not that at all. Josh Gad is the voice actor who voiced this character, and he does bring a lot of the charm that this character has with him. But the character actually has a point to be in the movie, and he's actually really funny. And again, he actually has a purpose to be in the movie. The character actually was a snowman that the two main characters in the movie, Elsa and Anna, had made when they were younger kids. So he's really there as sort of a representation of their childhood and of how times, were nice and, very wholesome and fun between the two characters. And he ends up saving one of the characters' lives at the end of the movie. So he's not just there just that. He actually does something pretty, purposeful and useful in the movie. So that's really, really cool. And they have a lot of funny gags with him being a snowman. Like one time he, walks into, an icicle. And he's like, oh, I've been impaled, whatever. It was really funny. A lot of funny jokes with this character alone, usually with his nose being a, carrot and whatever. The character was great. It was really funny. It was more than what I expected. Again, Disney is just a marketing genius because they show you the bare minimum and they keep everything under wraps. And something that I was expecting from this movie, it's something that the impression I got from a lot of the promotional material is that this was just going to be a big retread of Wreck-It Ralph, where it was, oh, the supervillains aren't, that bad. Like, let's look at the supervillains from this point of view, and let's look at them as, anti-heroes or whatever. That's what I got. That's the impression I got from a lot of the marketing material with the character Elsa, who is the Snow Queen. This is based off of the story The Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen. They actually do have a little sort of homage, nice little tribute to the author of this book. Because they actually name a character in the movie Hans, although the character is kind of an egotistical, power-hungry maniac, so I'm not sure if that's Disney trying to say something, but it was nice to know that they had, the authors, I said they threw that in there for, diehard fans of the story. However, I am familiar with the Snow Queen story, but this story, the movie is really not at all faithful to it. It's a completely different story entirely, but it still is a good story on its own. Like, if you take that out of the equation, that this is not an absolute faithful, 100% faithful adaptation of the Snow Queen story, and just look at it as its own standalone movie, then it's great. That's the way I looked at it. I went into this saying, they're not going to do the Snow Queen story 100%. 100%. They're just going to do, something a little bit different, like they did with The Little Mermaid. That was a Hans Christian Andersen story, and they, in that as a standalone movie, not taking the, the original story into, question, it was a fine movie. It was still great. Here I went into the movie, with just that. Just, don't look at it as an absolute, 100% faithful adaptation of the story. Just look at it as its own standalone movie, like with The Little Mermaid. But back to the character of Elsa. That's what I was expecting from this movie, just to be a big retread of Wreck-It Ralph, which was, let's look at the villain from, this point of view, and look at them as an anti-hero, like they're misunderstood. That's what I was expecting, and again, that was one of the things that one of the things that kept me from seeing this movie. Again, and that's not the case at all. She's not the villain of the movie at all. That's what I was expecting this movie to make her. They were just going to make her the villain, and that was that. There is a villain in the movie, although I will talk about that very, very later. There is a villain revealed later in the movie towards the end of it, but Elsa's not the villain at all. She is misunderstood, but she's not the villain at all. She doesn't do anything evil. She just wants to be left alone, and that's it. She just makes the whole, kingdom frozen just completely by accident because she doesn't know how to use her powers, and she wants to, completely, she wants to get rid of, all the ice and, all the snow and everything. She just doesn't know how to. So I love that. I love that they didn't make her the villain. She was just, misunderstood, and they didn't try to make her the villain at all. It's not like, oh, I don't want to get rid of the frozen wonderland. I want to make it that way because everyone doesn't understand me. They didn't make it at all. She's like, I want to get rid of all the snow and everything. I just don't know how to. I like that. I thought that was great. There is a villain revealed later, but I will talk about that in a minute. Another thing that I just loved in this movie, it's probably one of the funniest parts in the movie. This is definitely the funniest part in the movie for me personally, and it's not even intentionally funny. But the character Anna, played by Kristen Bell, perfectly by Kristen Bell in this movie, she did great. I never knew she could sing that good. She sings great in this movie. But she, in the beginning of the movie, falls in love with, again, Hans' character, and Elsa, and she goes to her older sister Elsa, and she says, we're getting married even after knowing each other for a day. And at first I was thinking, oh, Disney with your, getting married after a day trope, you classic bastards. Um, she says we're gonna get married, and she's asking her sister for her blessing, and Elsa says, you can't marry someone after knowing them for a day, or you can't fall in love with, it's something like you can't fall in love with someone after like a day. And my jaw dropped at that very moment. I started laughing my ass off, and after I was done laughing, I literally said to myself, Disney, you've made a business. You made an entire empire on that trope alone. What, you can't fall in love with someone, after knowing them for a day? Yeah, sure you can. Your movies before definitely haven't proven that at all. How long did Aladdin know Jasmine? How long did fucking Ariel know Prince Eric? How long did they know each other? So what's the problem here? I love that so much. I love that they actually poke fun at that in the movie. It isn't a big plot hole. There are numbers of characters that actually poke fun at that in the movie, and it makes sense actually why the Anna character would would actually fall in love, naively fall in love with someone in the beginning of the movie, because she's been locked up and she's been very what's the word? Very sheltered throughout her entire life. So of course, the first person that she meets, she's gonna think that she's falling in love with them. She's gonna think that they're gonna get married right then and there, and everything's gonna be fine. She doesn't know. She's been sheltered her whole life, so it kind of makes sense. And it's not like they do eventually get married. Kind of spoilers in this video. They don't get married at the end of the movie. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I will get to that in a minute. I like that. I thought that was just really funny. There are characters who are constantly pointing that out in the movie. Like, you can't just marry a guy or fall in love with a guy after knowing them for a day. Hell, it wasn't even a day. That's giving them too much credit. They knew each other for, like, a night. Like, the night that, the whole kingdom, well, the gates were opening for, like, the first time in forever. Like they say in the movie. That was, I loved that so much. It really made me laugh, and I don't think that was intentionally supposed to be funny. It definitely was Disney saying, yeah, we know, we've done this before, but just go along with it. I thought that was just so funny and just so contradictory of what Disney has been doing for, for just so many decades right now. A trope that Disney has pretty much created and pretty much made. And now they're just saying, no, that's totally not the way to do it. I love that so much. And this movie is really against, women needing a man. And that's the thing I've seen very recently with a lot of Disney's more recent, not even with their more recent movies, just with Disney movies in general, the whole girl power angle from it, and not needing a man to complete your life or anything. And I like that. I like that in the movie. It wasn't Anna didn't want to fall in love with someone because she needed a man. She fell in love with someone because, again, she was just sheltered and she didn't really know what to do because she's been sheltered her whole life. She doesn't know better. She's very naive. I like that. I thought that was really, really cool. They don't focus on, the love of, two people and them getting married. They focus a lot on the love that two siblings have for each other, and that's the true love in this movie. Later in the movie, the Anna character gets, cursed accidentally by her sister, and the only way to break the curse is by true love, which immediately when you hear that in a Disney movie, no less, you think to yourself, oh, she's gonna have to get kissed by somebody because that's true love. Not at all. The true love is, between the love that two siblings have for each other, the love that the two sisters have for each other in this movie, which I thought was great. That's something that Disney had never focused on before. If there were any problems in the movie, this completely makes up for it, because I never had seen that done in a Disney movie, ever. If it was done before, and please let me know, because I'm totally blanking on that movie, completely right now. I love that a lot. It didn't focus on, the cliched, love between, man and woman that we've all seen before. It focused on the love that, two siblings have for each other, which I think will make a lot of people that are really unappreciative of their siblings actually appreciate their siblings a lot more. I love that just so much in the movie. And the movie really makes you feel that love. Like, in the beginning of the movie, the two characters are locked away from each other till, they're like 18, 16 years old. And that was genuinely sad. Like, they was taking these two little kids that were very happy and, friends with each other. And they were locking each other away for years and years and years, for their own safety, but for years. It was genuinely sad. It's really hard to get misty-eyed over the beginning of this movie. It really reminded me of the beginning of Up, where it's, there's so many different emotions, so many feels going on throughout the entire opening of the movie. It's only the opening of the movie. That's impressive. Like, so many movies have a hard time making me care about certain characters throughout the entire hour and a half, 2.5 hour runtime. This movie made me care about the characters in the first 5-10 minutes. That's impressive. Only Disney can do that. They did it with Up, and they did it with this movie again. And that may be a criticism that this movie will have, like, oh, the beginning's too similar to Up. I don't think so. The only people that died were the parents, so, not that big of a deal, at least in my opinion. That was something I really enjoyed about this movie, just the love. They took the whole true love thing and just made it completely different. I love that, no pun intended, but I really love that a whole lot. I don't think that was ever done before in a Disney movie. Usually Disney movies, they will have sort of like a bait and switch, which they will have like a main love interest, be like the true love's first kiss, but it won't be that person. It will be a different person, and that person will do the whole true love kiss, and that will break the curse. And they sort of set that up in this movie, but the whole true love, an act of true love, isn't the kiss at all. It's, again, something that has to do with two sisters. Elsa is about to be killed by, again, the unnamed villain I'll get to in a minute. And Anna jumps in front of the sword that's about to kill her, and that's the true love that undoes the curse that Anna has. I love that so much. Disney has always done this, again, like I mentioned, where they set up this one person as the person that will break the curse, but it's not that person. It's a different person, and that person breaks the curse. But here they do like a double bait and switch, which is we'll set this person up as the Hans character as the person who will break the curse. Oh, it's not him. We'll set it's really the Kristoff character. Oh wait, it's not him. It's the character Anna herself, which is really great. And again, the whole girl power thing is definitely shown here because she undoes the curse. She saves herself. So that was really, really cool. I really loved. And I like that they did the whole, it's an act of true love, not just, true love's first kiss or, true love's kiss or whatever. It's just an act of true love. Like, they just sort of assume it has to be, oh, true love's first kiss. Let's go and bring her to Hans because they're truly in love. Yeah, right. Sure they are. And it's really just, an act of true love, the true love that two siblings have for each other, that the two sisters have for each other. I thought that was great. Disney really captured the whole love two siblings have for each other. And again, I think it can make a lot of people who are unappreciative of their siblings become more appreciative of their siblings. So I really love that a whole lot. And I love the Elsa character just so much in this movie. Although, after the whole big Let It Go song sequence, which was really great, that was amazing in this movie. The song is really great too. Glad it won the Golden Globe. I hope it wins the Oscar for Best Original Song. If it was nominated, I forgot. If it was, let me know. After her whole big song and after, after she makes the whole big ice castle and everything, she kind of disappears from the movie, at least a big chunk of the rest of the movie. Like, she doesn't show up until maybe the end of the second act or the beginning of the third act. That was really odd to me, especially because she was a character that seemed to be given the most development at the beginning of the movie. And it seemed like she was a character that we were going to focus on the most. Like, it kept on cutting back to characters of Anna and Kristoff and Olaf. But I was thinking to myself, can we cut back to Elsa? Isn't she like the main character in this movie? I guess not. I guess maybe because she was already given enough development in the beginning, they decided, she already had enough development, let's go to these characters and develop these characters. I guess that kind of makes sense, but I would have liked to see some scenes here and there that evened out the characters', screen time. At least, that's what I think. That's what I would have liked to see. And it was really uneven. It's like, we're going to show you this character and then take her away for a little bit, and then you'll see her later in the movie. And she's kind of disappeared from the movie. That's what I'm saying. I didn't like that. I thought that was really kind of odd. She just kind of disappeared from the movie. It was like shown in real time. Like the next time that you'll see Elsa is when Anna sees Elsa next time. That was really odd. I didn't like that. But I loved that character of Elsa. And I love this character so much because it's a kind of a role model for kids, kind of a role model for everyone in general, because she ends up doing what she wants to do, and even if people won't accept it, she still wants to do what she wants to do and what she loves to do, which is which is appreciate and really come to love her ice powers and everything. And I think that a lot of kids, teenagers, maybe even some adults can actually relate to that. Like they want to do something that they love and that they appreciate, but they don't want to let anyone else know they do it because those people won't accept it, but they want to do it anyways. I think that's the main reason why I love the song Let It Go, not only because it's catchy, it's because it's a great, great, great message for kids. And for Disney to put out that was really surprising, because Disney lately, some of their stars, I'm not going to say who, but some of their, Disney TV stars or whatever have kind of been, going fucking nuts. I'm not going to say who, because it's pretty obvious, but it was nice to know that Disney is now coming back and giving role models to kids that are actual role models instead of fucking weird-ass crazy people. It's Miley Cyrus, goddammit, that's what I'm trying to say here. It's Miley Cyrus. Okay, it's the big elephant in the room right now. Or the weird goat person. Like, anytime I see her with those fucking weird-ass hair stuff, she looks like a goat. It's really odd. She herself is just odd. She's an attention-seeking weird-ass. She disappeared for a while, and then she just came back and just did a bunch of weird shit. She's annoying. In fact, let's stop talking about her officially. Like, people are still talking about her now. Just shut up. It's January. She did that, like, back in August. Can we get over it now? Okay, well, I guess I should stop talking about her if I want everyone else to stop talking about her. So let's just get back to the movie. I love the message that song sent. I love the message that this character sent, Do what you want to do. If people won't accept it, then whatever. It's still what you love to do, and if it makes you feel good, then do it. That will make you, and then you'll come to appreciate it a lot more. Don't look at, don't look at one of your handicaps as a weakness. Use it as, to your advantage, and use it as one of your strengths, which I is great. That's just something I loved. Something that I think, again, a lot of people can really relate to. I really love that. That was a great message. I thought it was great. There really isn't anything else I could say about that. And what else do we have to talk about? That really about does it. That's all I really have to say about Frozen. Again, I had some problems with the movie. One of them also being the animation. I loved. I really loved the animation. I loved the look of everything. The snow. I loved the overall cinematography and just the way everything looked was just so nice. In fact, something that you'll never hear me say about a movie is, you know what, I really wish I had seen that in 3D. That's the only thing that you will probably never hear me say, but I'm going to say it about it here, because while I do think 3D is a horrible way to, film any movie, because usually live-action movies, although I do think some live-action movies can utilize it well, I think the best way to put the best films to have in 3D are animated movies, because animated movies are, very colorful for the kids and are supposed to have a lot of things pop out again for the little kids. That's the best time to see 3D. That's the best time to use 3D, when everything already is popping out. That's when the best time to utilize 3D correctly. I have seen some animated movies where the 3D was just amazing, like How to Train Your Dragon 2, that's what, and the 3D in that was used greatly, just amazing and perfectly. That's the way that you use a 3D. And that's why I'm actually looking forward to How to Train Your Dragon 2, and that's one of the only movies where you'll actually see me seeking out the 3D format over the 2D format. Really excited about that movie. I really wish I had seen this in 3D. I really regret not seeing this movie in 3D. In fact, I'm still contemplating whether or not to see this, go see this again in 3D. Because the 3D would have looked like it would have been amazing. There are some of those gimmicky moments in the movie which are pretty obvious, where, stuff is poking at you like an axe, or, well, the movie does take place during the winter, so, icicles and everything are popping out your face. Some gimmicky moments like that, but the stuff looked like it really would have popped out and really would have looked nice. If you're watching this video and if you have seen this movie in 3D, please let me know if it was good seeing it in 3D, because it does look good. And I really am interested to see this in 3D. Give 3D maybe another chance, but only with animated movies. Going back to the animation, I loved the animation in this movie. I really did. I loved the way that the snow looked, the way that Elsa's ice powers looked. You know, again, when they're all popping out of her hands, it would have looked beautiful in 3D. I bet that. I really hope it looked beautiful in 3D. But the thing the thing I didn't like was the character design. You usually don't hear me talk about character design in animated movies or TV shows or whatever, or cartoons. But the character designs for this movie look too much like the characters from Tangled, where they all looked very round and very, squishy and lovable. I didn't like that. That's the thing I don't like about 3D in general, 3D animation in general, which is all the characters, all 3D animation looks the same, at least to me. Um, with 2D, I much prefer 2D animation because their 2D animation is very versatile and very different and diverse. And, no 2D animation looks different. 2D animation all looks, very, very different, especially with Disney's, 2D animated movies. Like, go back into some of their old movies, no two characters look exactly the same. Like, Aladdin and Prince Eric don't look exactly the same. They all look very different. Here, a lot of the characters from, Frozen looked like a lot of the characters from Tangled. Especially with Anna. She looked too much like Rapunzel from Tangled. It was very, very odd, and the voice actresses sounded very, very alike. So it's very hard to tell which character was which. Well, Rapunzel had like 50 feet hair, so I guess I can kind of tell, but judging on the character's look and their voice actor, it was very hard to tell which character was which. They looked very, very, way too similar. And speaking of Tangled, if you look in the background, actually, Rapunzel and Flynn Rider from that movie actually do make a small little cameo appearance, Disney with their Easter eggs. You really have to look. I didn't notice it. I had to look online to find that, but they're there, I guess. Maybe it's photoshopped on the internet. Maybe it's not in the movie. I don't know. But, look hard. But that's all I really have to say about this movie. This movie, I thought, was a very, very big surprise. Just got so much from this movie that I had nothing to expect from. Just a really great movie overall. Definitely consider one of my favorite movies of 2013, even though I didn't see it in 2013. I'm really kicking myself for that. But I love Tangled. I love Frozen. I love Frozen. I'm doing this video at like 2 in the morning, so give me some slack. I love the movie. I thought it was really, really good. And that's why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for you guys. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely think that you guys should go out and see it. I really recommend this movie for you guys. It's really, really good, and you can bet your ass I'm buying this movie on Blu-ray when it comes out in March. On Blu-ray. I don't usually buy Disney movies on Blu-ray, but I'm making an exception for this. This was really, really good. Very surprising, really, really good. So that's all I have to say about that, and I'll see you guys next week with some LEGO Batman tutorials. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys soon.